what's going on, guys? In this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to use probably the most broken build Paquito has ever had in the history of ML. Now this here is Paquito's full damage build, and when I tell you late game you can literally press your skill 2 times and kill someone, you honestly can. This is the most disgusting build for Paquito. Keep in mind that this build still has a build order, starting with Fury Hammer, then building Sky Piercer, then building Hunter Strike, and continuing along the rest of the line. Now, late game, you can choose between Sea Halberd, Blade of Hephaestus, Rose Gold Meteor, Immortality, or Winter Crown depending on the situation. These are the 5 items I recommend as your last item on Paquito with this build. Now, the most important part about this build is the emblem setup, obviously using Assassin, Rupture, and Master Assassin for the most amount of burst damage, and then using the new talent Temporal Rain. But you need to understand how Temporal Rain works to be able to abuse this on any hero, let alone Paquito. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how good you are with the hero, if you're not abusing what your build is meant to abuse, then you can't abuse the build to the full potential, if that makes any sense, right? Like, if you don't understand how Temporal Rain works, it's better to just use Lethal Ignition. So I'm going to explain to you guys how Temporal Rain works, because it's definitely better than Lethal Ignition or any of the other counterparts. Now here you can see I've constructed a graph to explain it to you guys. The white line is the time. We are measuring over 10 seconds, considering that Temporal Rain is a skill that's active for 4 seconds. So the way it works is that if you have a skill on cooldown while you use your ultimate, that skill that's on cooldown will be reduced cooldowns, meaning you get the skill faster. So the way it works is very simple. Let's say I use my skill 1, it has a 7-second cooldown. If I use my ultimate, the cooldown of that skill 1 will go from 7 seconds to 4.6 seconds because it's reduced by 1.5 times the cooldown. But what happens if Temporal Rain's active and then I use a skill, for example with the skill 2 cooldown time? What will happen is from the moment I used my skill 2, I will have the 1.5 cooldown until the ending of the duration of Temporal Rain. To make it extremely simple, imagine I used my skill 2 seconds after I used my ultimate, which means that Temporal Rain was already active for 2 seconds. Then I only have 2 more seconds of 1.5 times the cooldown reduction. So instead of my cooldown of my skill 2 going down to 4 seconds, it will go down to 5.5 seconds, etc. because it was not on cooldown for the full duration of Temporal Rain. So the way that you can abuse this build is by using your skill 1 and your skill 2 and then using your ultimate so that during the time that you are doing the rest of your combo, your other 2 skills are coming back faster off of cooldown. So to make it even simpler, use the 2-2-1-3-2 combo or use the 2-1-2-3-2 combo, as both of these combos will allow your first skill and your second skill to come back faster off of cooldown and fully abuse Temporal Rain in the middle of every team fight. So in this ranked game, I obviously took Paquito, to which the enemy replied by taking Xavier and then taking Estes. Then my team decided to take Melissa and Ollis. Then the enemy decided to take Ling and CC to verse me on EXP lane. And then after this, my team decided to take Franco and Julian as our last picks. And the enemy chose Claude as their marksman pick. So, as you guys know, whenever your jungler starts on the buff closest to you, you should try to help him. This is with the exception of blue buff because you don't want to steal that small camp EXP. You could still technically use one skill 2 and then run away, but I usually don't help my jungler when he's on blue buff side. I only help him when he's on red buff side. Now, whenever you verse CC on EXP lane, if she doesn't build defense items, you can burst her at level 4, so don't really force any engagements for the first 2 minutes unless if you know that you are going to win them, such as me knowing that I can 200% last hit and steal this crab. Now, even though this seemed like such a good play from me, I'm gonna tell you guys that this was a big mistake. If you go back and watch again, I was a few gold off of getting my Fury Hammer. What I should have done is waited to get my Fury Hammer, and I 100% would have confirmed this kill on CC as well. The thing about full assassin build Paquito is you can burst any squishy enemy at level 4. So once you get that Fury Hammer and you have full assassin build, don't be scared to team fight even if you're lower HP. Just play your moments. Now, the enemy team does have a Ling, and I was slightly worried about him coming back, but let's analyze some things. Number 1, we saw that he already ulted, and number 2, we saw that he doesn't have blue buff, and I've got 2 of my first skills ready to be used, which means that it's impossible for him to kill me. So I know that I can go clear this wave, and then I can reset. The most important thing about playing any hero with any build is farming. You need to prioritize your farm. The faster you can farm, the faster you get your damage, the faster you become the monster that the build is supposed to make you to become. I really didn't expect Estes to be here. Let's wait for them to line up on top of each other so that we can hit both of them with my combo. Too bad Franco missed that hook. On the other hand, did you see how much faster my skill 2 and my skill 1 came back because of Temporal Rain's effects? This is a really broken item, and it only gets more broken progressively scaling into late game. I'm gonna give you guys a golden rule in ranked. Never get cocky, especially when it's your first game on. I was talking about CC over here. If we're being honest here, it was my first game on, I wasn't paying attention to where Ling was on the map, that's why I died, but we're lucky CC decided to let me kill her as well. You can already see how much damage you end up doing, and I don't even have Hunter Strike yet. Just wait until you get to see the rest of this build in action. Now, knowing that I have so much damage, I wanted to see who would come to clear this lane. Because I knew I could kill whoever came to clear, that Estes was pretty much an extra 200 gold on top of the minion wave gold. Absolutely insane. And we're already one-shotting people, and it's only 5 minutes into the game. Imagine how this is then full build late game. If you guys watch my videos enough, you're aware that Paquito's the best target lock hero. Let's make this lane useless, shall we? The best part about it is that I'm also getting my Temporal Rain active effects, which means that my skill 2 and my skill 1 are already back off of cooldown. But remember what I said, no matter how good of a game you're having, never get greedy, never force plays, only force when you're at 110% certain. I don't know if CC knows that I'll kill her before she kills me, maybe she has to find out the hard way. Even though CC might chase me here thinking that I don't have my combo anymore, Temporal Rain's already given me my combo back. The only reason I've won this fight against CC is because of Temporal Rain. How absolutely insane is that?
Okay.
Their Ling is alone split pushing and Lord is coming up in 30 seconds. Let's see if we can make some miracle play and kill this Ling. And just like that easily, our team now has the option to go for Lord. This is really important. Let's see if they decide to capitalize on this. In this situation, most good Ling players will take their blue buff instead of going to the Lord. And just because I was annoying him, he doesn't get Lord or his blue buff. That was really unfortunate that I missed that skill 2 onto Claude. It doesn't matter, remember, still my first game on of the day. What we can do on the other hand is push and try to end right now. When your job is not to push the turret, sometimes you can suicide into their team to zone them and push them all away to create space for your team to end. Even though I suicided, I disrupted their formation enough to where Julian and Melissa were able to end this game. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed and were able to see how broken this build really is. Honestly, when you have a team with half of a brain, you will win 80 to 90% of your games. This build is so good. I'll see you guys in the next one.